Welcome back everyone, this is Aviator with Aviator Games, and this will be part 2 of the Gdevelop 5 RPG tutorial. So in this video we're going to go ahead and give our player, he's right here, the little knight, give him some basic movement, and then we're going to also give the animals and the enemies some movement. The enemies, we're going to give them some like very basic AI. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so the first thing you want to edit is the sheep object. Let's go to edit object variable. Let's go ahead and add a variable and rename it to direction. Then set the value to 0. So basically what this is going to do is this is going to set the direction of the sheep. So we're going to have this randomly change. So if it equals 1, it's going to go to the left. If it equals 2, it's going to go to the right. 3, up. 4, down. And it doesn't have to be in that order. It's whatever you feel like. So let's go ahead and hit and apply. Go to game events. Let's create a group. You hit the plus up here, and then hit group. Let's name this sheep. We'll put all the sheep events in this one right here. Make sure you click on this one and then add sub event. So this is going to be a sub event of this group. Okay, so now we want to look for at the beginning of the scene. Oops. There you go. Okay, so we want to set that direction to 1, 2, 3, or 4 randomly. So add an action, common action for all objects, variable, modify a variable of an object. Let's find sheep, variable, direction, set to, go to the expression button right here, find random, it should be down here. There we go, random, and we want random integer in range. Minimum value 1, maximum 4. So it's going to pick a number between 1 and 4. Okay. Let's add another sub event. Oh, not a sub event of that one. Okay, there we go. Now let's check that particular variable now. So common condition for all objects. Go to variable, value of an object variable, sheep, direction, if it equals 1, okay, actually let me go back for a second. Let's go to the sheep. No. Where are you at? Oh, there we go. Let's edit the object. Go to behaviors. Okay, and see I already created or added this the platform object behavior and the top down movement. Okay, now reason why I added the platformer object, so well, basically for the collisions. So I set the gravity to 0, jump speed to 0, The max fall speed 0. So yeah, you want to make sure you set all that to 0. And then the top down movement, acceleration 400, deceleration 800. I set the max speed to 5. Don't unclick this one right here. Rotate object. You don't want it to rotate. And then uncheck the default controls and do not allow the diagonals. So we have that set. Press apply. Now we go ahead and go back to game events. So now if direction equals 1, let's move the sheep to the left. So common action for all. Actually, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. We go all the way down here to top-down movement. There we go. Controls, and we want to simulate the left key. Okay. Okay, so if it equals 1, it'll go to the left. So let's go ahead and see if it does it. Press run. As you can see, it's going to the left. All the sheeps are going to the left. Okay. So now let's click on this, copy, paste. Let's do this 4 times. 2, change this one to 3. Didn't want to do that. Oh well. 4. Okay, so 2, let's change this to right. And then for 3, change that to simulate the up key. 4, down. Okay. Let's go ahead and save it. Now let's try it. See what the sheep does. There we go. Now, like I said, I added the platformer for the collisions, and then the walls, I added the platform behavior. So when they collide, it's going to stop, or it's not going to go over here. It's not going to go through the walls. Okay, so far so looking good. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the video for right now, and I'm going to do the rest to all the other animals. See you in a second. Welcome back, everyone. Now let's go ahead and go to events. As you can see, I copied the group sheep and then just pasted it 4 times, and then I just changed the object name for each category, for each group. I also added a timer to each group. So basically what this is doing is every 3 seconds it's going to do this line right here. It's going to pick a random number and set that number to direction, and then make that object or that NPC go in that particular direction. So like I said in the beginning, we only do it just the 1 time. It just sets that direction, that random direction once, and that's it. But it didn't keep doing it. So we go ahead and click on here. We add a condition. If you don't know where that timer is, you scroll down to timers and time, and then you choose value of a scene timer. I put under this field time in seconds 3. You can put whatever you like. And then for the timer name, I put sheep for this group. Now, however you uh, spell this timer's name, make sure you remember that, because if, let's say, you spelled like this with a lowercase s, but somewhere where you modify it in your code, uh, you modify it and you put a capital S, it's not going to work. So make sure you spell it just like that, or wherever how you spelled it, and also use the quotation marks, and then click OK. So every 3 seconds it's going to do this, pretty much what we did up here, and then once it does this, it resets the timer and starts the cycle all over again. So let's go ahead and check that out. Okay, as you can see, 3 seconds, it changes. Got the cat, got the sheep, got the crawler right here, got the unarmed skeleton, got the armed skeleton, and they're all moving. Now also, when they hit the cave wall or the house, they'll stop. They'll stop if it keeps choosing that direction. But if it chooses a different direction, it won't stop. Like right here, it stopped, but now it's going down. Now the way to do that is, like I said, I chose a platformer, the platformer character behavior for the NPCs, and then for the walls or the solid objects, I chose the platform behavior. And if you don't know how to do that, I'm gonna show you. So you click the object that you want to add a behavior to. So for instance, let's say we want to do it for sheep. Click over here, edit object, go to the behaviors tab. If there's nothing right here, you'll just see this right here. Press the plus, and then you add the appropriate behavior. Okay, press apply. Alright, now we want to actually add a little bit more to 3 of the objects. Let's find it. We want the crawler, and we want the skeleton unarmed and armed. I already did it, so let's just go ahead and look at it. Edit object variables. So I added the direction for the movement, of course, and then I added state. Now what this is going to do, this is going to allow us to choose like what happens when the state equals 0, 1, or 2. Like for instance, right now it's set for 0. We're going to set that for the wander state. 1 is going to be the chase state, and 2 is going to be the attack state. And I added this variable also to the armed and the crawler. So let's go ahead and go to events. Okay, so first off, let's go to crawler. Now we want to add a second condition to all these, just for the crawler, unarmed skeleton, and the armed skeleton. So let's go to common condition for all objects, variables. And for those who are just joining this series, and you haven't watched any of my other videos, this is an object variable, like I said, found in the common conditions for all objects. Object variable belongs to a particular object, and then you have a scene and a global variable. So if you want to go to a scene or global variables, you just go down here to variables, to the drop down menu right here, and you have your global, you have your global variables, and you have your scene variables. The global variables, let's say you have 5 levels, and you have, let's say, points or credits. You go from level 1, you get like 1,000 points, and you go to level 2, and you can access that global variable from level 2 or 3 or 4, or wherever, how many levels you have. Now an instance variable, that variable you can only access from a particular, like that particular scene. So if it's level 1, and let's say you have, I don't know, potions that you can only use for level 1, you can't access that instance variable from level 2. So make sure you choose the right variable for what you want to do. Okay, so let's go back up here. Well, hold on, crawler, yeah. Okay, so we want to add another condition. So we want to check the object variable of crawler equals, we want to check the state variable, and we want to check to see if it equals 0, and do the same thing for here. Right there. State equals 0. Crawler that equals 0. One more for this one. Equals 0. Okay. Now normally what I would do is I would just create one character or NPC, whatever, and then copy all of all this functionality to something else that's similar, instead of having to do this so many times. But for right now, this is what we're doing. Okay, so if I press play, this should still do this, act the same way, because the only thing we did was we just tell check to see if this equals 0, which it does, because that's what we set it to. So let's go ahead and double check. So we're looking for the crawler, him right there, and there we go, it's working. So I'll go ahead and add this stuff a little bit later. Well, I'm gonna do it for this one too. The unarmed object. Oops. We don't want objects, we want variables. Hold on. That one. Yeah, let's go ahead and do the unarmed. Equals 0. So I wish you can just copy this and then just paste it. For some reason it doesn't want to paste. Oh, there we go. Oh shoot, you learn something every day. All this time I've been just trying to paste it and it wouldn't paste. Okay. Well, that's just going to make things a lot quicker. And same thing for this. Variables. Armed. Wrong one. Okay, so we got that one. Copy. Okay. So the whole entire time, I thought you had to click on the whole box right here to be able to paste, but it wasn't doing that. So what you have to do is you have to actually click on the individual slot right here, then click paste. So just figured that out right now. So that's pretty cool. Okay. So that should work right there. Now we want to check to see if it's 1. So, well, actually, no. For first, we're going to check the distance. Okay, so add another condition or sub event. So come down here. We want to go common conditions for all objects, position, distance between two objects. First object, I believe was the no, that was the armed. Okay. Position, armed, and the player. Okay, so let's say 50. So if the armed skeleton distance to player is below 50, let's change the state to 1. Variable state equals 1. Cool, cool. Add another sub condition. Really hate this paste or this moving system. Okay, sub event. Okay. Now, if state equals 1, armed, so this is going to be the chase state. Now we want to move towards the player. So we go common action for all all objects, movement. We want to add add a force to toward the player or toward an object. So object is going to be the armed. Target object is going to be towards the player. Let's say 10 pixels. Okay, so let's check that out. This is the arm. So now let's go ahead and move. Oh, forgot one thing. Let's close this up. Close that up. Add another group called, well, oh no, we don't have to add a group. Yes, actually, let's add a group because I'm going to be doing something later with. And uh, and let's delete this one. It's called player. Okay, so basically what I gotta do, I have to add the top-down movement behavior. Okay, so edit object, behaviors. Okay, we already have it. So hit apply. Okay, so let's go, do a little recap. All right, so if the state equals zero or equals 0 or 1, 2, 3, 4, then it's going to do all this. Okay, now if the player gets below 50 pixels from the skeleton, then below 50 but above 10 pixels, then we set the skeletons, the arm skeletons state variable to 1, and then if it equals 1, he'll start chasing us. Now if he's above 50, we set it back to 0, and then we set the ph timer or player hit timer. We pause it, and we also pause it here too. We just, probably can take one of these out, but I just wanted to, make sure that it is being paused. Okay, so now if we get below 10 pixels, we're practically on each other, then we set his state to 2, to his which is attack. So then we come down here and if we check if it's 2 and the pH timer is greater than 3 seconds, then we take 10 HP from the player. Then after that, we reset the pH and we do it all over again, and we keep taking 10 HP until we are above 10 pixels. All right, so let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, we got our movement. The animals are moving, our enemies are moving. The only ones that are not moving is this guy right here, and where's that hunter? Right here, the hunter. Okay. Oh, there he goes. Okay, so we're at 100. We can collide with it with stuff. Now let's go over to him. He's chasing us. We're above 50. Nothing's happening. I'm sorry, we're below 50, and he's not taking our HP. Let's let him catch up to us. He's within 10. There we go. 90, 80. Let's move away from him. It stopped. Okay, now we're above 50. He goes back to his state goes back to 0, which is just wandering. Now let's go back up to him real quick. Make sure nothing's broke. Okay. So, yep, he can go in and out. He can switch states. Okay. All right. So for now, that's it for this video. I am going to put that same little AI into these guys right here, the crawlers and the unarmed skeleton. The next video we'll do pickups. I've already did a tutorial on that by itself, but we'll go ahead and include it in this one too. It's going to kind of tie into the next one anyway, because we're going to do a store, and this right here is going to be the store. I might have to make another door or make its own little door, so when you collide with it, or maybe you click on it, a little pop-up will come up, and it'll show the things that you can buy. But probably the only thing you'll be able to buy is the sword. And I'll modify this to where he doesn't have a sword. It'll just be him by himself. So we'll have to like go in here to get some coin, then come back and buy the sword, and then this will pop up again. And then try to also modify it to where it'll show him hitting the one of the skeletons and taking their HP. So yeah, so we'll do the inventory and pickups on the next one, and then part four, that's going to be a long one because that will be the inventory system. Then, then after that, probably we'll do a health bar and deal with these little treasure boxes right here, treasure chests. So, but anyway, but yeah, so that's it for this video. If you like it, give me that thumbs up. If you have any questions, let me know. If I can answer your questions, I'll try. Remember, I drive trucks full time, so I drive about 700 miles a day, and then on top of that, I try to do these videos in between. So I'm gonna try to do at least one video a week. I'm trying. So, but thank you for your support, and I'll see you in part three.